What's up guys, it's Mindset Performance Coach Adam Carmichael here. In today's video, you're going to be learning how to overcome your impulsive behaviors. Now make sure you stick around to the end of this video as I have a special announcement to make about a coaching opportunity that's coming available early next year. Now, overcoming your impulses. Going into a new year, most of us will be setting new goals, new targets, and trying to become a better version of ourselves. A lot of you will be struggling with bad habits that you need to overcome and create a new version of yourself. Most of you will approach it from the lens of, I need to be more disciplined, I need to have more willpower, I need to get myself to do XYZ behavior. After today's video, you will see why that is the wrong approach, and you will see a better way to change your habits, to overcome bad habits, and to basically modify any behavior that you want. All right? So, impulsive behaviors, what are they? Generally, it means you act in a way, generally in a short time frame, that you then classify as negative. All right? So, for example, I finish this video, I go downstairs, and I binge eat everything in the fridge. I do it based on a feeling I had, and then I regret it later. All right, if I binge ate lots of salads and lots of good stuff for me, I probably wouldn't call it much of an impulsion. All right, it probably would be an impulse still, but I wouldn't class it as a negative. All right, so generally impulse happens quickly and it's a regrettable behavior at the end of it. All right, this could be at the poker tables when you're impulsively spewing off buy-ins. It could be you're wasting time at night and you're impulsively watching YouTube. But we all have these things that draw us in and take up our time and energy that we regret later. All right. So today we're going to explore why that happens, and we're going to talk about 3 levels we can make decisions from. All right. And once you understand these 3 things, it opens up the door to change stuff. All right. And once you can get very good at this skill, which I'm going to share with you guys, you can start to modify any area of your life very quickly. And what you'll find is most of your problems just melt away. All right, most of your problems literally melt away through this process. All right, so the first level that we can act from, which we're going to discuss first, is your feelings. All right, we act from the lens of the body. All right, so we feel something and we act on it. All right, so think of some common feelings that you act on. All right, it could be boredom, it could be frustration. You have a feeling and you act on it. All right, it could be as simple as I feel hungry, therefore I eat. I feel bored, therefore I watch YouTube. We have a feeling and we choose to act on that feeling. Now, this is the lowest level, all right? It's very primal. We've built this kind of mechanism based on our hunter and gatherer days, our survival needs were on the line. If we felt in danger, we run or we try to fight, and we didn't have time to think about it, all right? So it's very fight or flight modes, respond to your environment immediately, and basically act on your feelings, all right? In the modern world, unless you're in a dangerous scenario, often acting on your feelings isn't going to do you much good. Also, we've got some of the smartest people in the world who work for social media apps or online devices, and as a result, we get drawn in by things that spark our dopamine hits and spark our feelings. So we're constantly getting triggered to act. All right, if you watch any advert, go on any marketing site, it'll basically try to sell you stuff. Buy this, do this. We're constantly thinking we need something, and we're then invoking feelings to get us to act. Why? Because psychologists know that we often act on our feelings. All right, if we can get someone to feel a certain way, very often they will act on that. All right, so think for yourself, how often do you act based on what the body is feeling? All right, now this is very interesting because when you stop and you explore this, what is actually happening? When you get a feeling in the body and you act on that feeling, why do you do that? Why do you do that? You do that because you identify with your feelings. All right, you think your feelings are you. All right, you say things like I am hungry, I am bored. Your identity gets wrapped up in the feelings of the body. All right, as a result, you become identified with your body. All right, the people who have the least control of their lives are those who are too identified with their feelings, too identified with the body. As a result, they just get dragged around situation, and they act on their feelings. As a result, they're often very impulsive. They'll do things that have short-term gratification, whether it's spending money, making money, drinking, doing all the things that feel good in the moment, but lead to long-term consequences. All right. So the first skill, the first kind of level we need to get past is we need to get past acting from the body. All right. Acting on our feelings. We need to step up a level. All right. So the level above the body, the level above acting from your feelings is to act from the mind. All right, so we act from the mind. Now, why is that a step up? Why is that a better process than the body? It's not great, as we're going to go into. Basically, when you act from the mind, you get to decide what you want to do. All right, when you listen to the mind, you listen to your thoughts, and if you pre-decide your thoughts, which we're very capable of doing, we can choose an action which is in alignment with our goals. We can weigh up the pros and cons, and we can make rational decisions if we have enough inputs. All right, so if I have enough data going to my mind can cognitively process that, and I can come up with ways to act. All right, so for example, I can decide, okay, do I want to stay up until 3 in the morning watching YouTube? Not a good idea, Adam, because you're gonna be tired the next day. Maybe you should go to bed. All right, if you listen to your thoughts, you can go through this process. All right. However, your thoughts in your mind are a double-ended sword, and very often, just like we do with the body, we get too intertwined with the mind. All right, and we think we are our thoughts. We get entangled with them. All right, so we have a thought of, oh, I should really check on my phone. You check your phone. You go, oh, I really need to fill up my water. You go fill your water up. You listen to these thoughts as if they're some really high-level part of you that you need to listen to. All right, and lots of people, if not majority of people, think they are their thoughts. By that I mean they have a thought, they act on the thought. They have a thought, they act on it. All right. Now, like I said, there's good attributes to the thought, especially when we use our mind. By that I mean we cognitively decide what to think. So it's estimated roughly 5% of the time we actually use the mind to think thoughts consciously, and 95% are built on our old programs, and they just get they come out of thin air, but they get generated by the mind. The mind's this kind of thought generating machine. It's just constantly generating thought, and this process happens all the time. Now, if we listen to our thoughts, guess what? Again, we get dragged around. Again, a lot of it's based on our old conditioning, our old past experiences, and again, we don't have much control of our lives. All right, I'm not sure about you guys, but I'm not sure what thought's going to come next. I have no clue, in all honesty. Maybe watching this video, doing this video, I've got some idea that I think this thought's going to come up, which is going to help me to shoot the video. But for the most part, I don't know. I don't know what thoughts are going to come up. If I listen to every one of them that comes up, I'm going to be here, there, and everywhere. All right? So we need to realize, okay, the mind is coming up with thoughts. But again, the problem is that we identify with our thoughts. We think we are our thoughts. All right, so imagine if every thought I have, I think that is me. I've identified with it. Guess what I do? I act based on my thought. I go, oh, thought, that's me. Thought, that's me. And as a result, again, it's going to be quite random where I end up. Now, what's very interesting is that a lot of very smart people, a lot of very intellectual people never find their way to happiness. All right, they never find their way to happiness. And the reason being is the mind is always trying to fix something. It's always trying to get to another objective, and it can never just be. It can never be happy. It can never be in the present moment. So when you're trying to live a good life, very often, whether you're trying to make money, have success, the end destination is always some form of happiness, right? Happiness or fulfillment. Now, very smart people get stuck in the mind. They get stuck trying to get the mind to fix stuff and get to a different level, and they think. They can't separate themselves from their thoughts, and as a result, they can never problem solve their way to happiness. They can never problem solve their way to a fulfilled life, all right? And as a result, they think they need more stuff, learn more knowledge, get more information, all right? So the mind has this, like I said, double-ended sword. It can help you get to a lot of objectives by using it, the functions of it, but it also is one of our biggest traps, all right? Also with the mind, we create a construct, which we generally call our ego, all right? A construct of ourselves based on our values, our beliefs, our past experiences, and we protect that ego, all right? So if you watch this video and you go in the comments and go, Adam, you're an idiot, you're probably gonna subconsciously affect my ego. So I'll be like, oh, I'm an idiot. This person I don't know has just called me an idiot. I may try to protect that. I probably won't respond, but I could try to protect that. It feels you're attacking me. When in reality, you're making a comment based on a personality trait you have observed. It's not really me, all right? I'm not this bundle of thoughts, my ego, all right? So that leaves the question, what are we? And who are we? All right, we don't want to go too deep, but we need to know something very important. We are not our body, and we are not our thoughts. We are not our body, and we are not our thoughts, all right? So what are we? We are a consciousness, right? We're a consciousness behind that. We're a level of awareness. And how do we know that's true? How do we know we're not our thoughts? We know we're not something when we can observe it, all right? So I know I'm not my body's feelings and sensations because I can observe my body feeling stuff, all right? I could also go into surgery. You could remove my arms under some really, really good anesthetic and replace them with new ones. You could remove my legs, replace them with new ones. You could give me face surgery, create a new face. And I, behind the kind of awareness, my consciousness, would be the same person, it would feel the same, even if my body change, all right? So we know we're not our body by this kind of extrapolation, by being able to observe it. If we can observe something, we can't be it, all right? If I can observe my hand, I can't be my hand, all right? There's a lot of deep spiritual teachers go down this avenue of who am I is a big question they ask. Who am I? And they go back and back and back and they subtract until they get to this end point of awareness, all right? So we can also do the same with our thoughts. We know we're not our thoughts because we can watch them, all right? I can watch my mind making thoughts. If I can watch a process, I can't be it. I'm removed. So what are we? We're some form of awareness, right? We're awareness behind our thoughts, right? I know this is going very deep and very esoteric for some of you guys watching this, but we need to understand this on a core level if we want to make changes in our lives. Because when we're identified with our feelings in the body, we think it's us. When we're identified with our thoughts in our mind, we think it's us. We can't change it. We haven't got space. We're dragged around by whatever the body says, or whatever the mind says, we will do. We will follow it. However, if we learn to get back in touch with the truth, which is where the consciousness behind it, we can start to observe our feelings. We can start to observe our thoughts, and we can choose which of them to interact with, all right? So if you go through your life and you're trying to overcome impulsive behaviors and impulsive thoughts, what's happening is you're identifying, often with a feeling, but also with your thoughts, and you're acting on it, all right? So the first step we need to do is to get good at observing. All right? So going into your life, going into 2022 and beyond, I want you to start to become an observer of your experience. All right? I want you to start to witness what is going on from a lens of curiosity. All right? How am I feeling in my body? Start to explore and watch your feelings. This took me a while to get to because as a poker player, I kind of detached myself from my feelings and I suppressed a lot of stuff and I avoided going into deep parts of myself. And as a result, I lost touch with my body. And then I started to explore and really pay attention to how I was feeling through the day. And I realized, that every moment I'm interacting with and things trigger emotional responses. And once you start to explore that and watch it, just by being aware and watching it, you can see, I'm not it. I don't need to act on this feeling. Something might trigger me to feel a certain way, but I don't need to act on it. All right, so observing how you feel in your body. Also, your mind. Watch the mind. Watch the mind come up with things to do. Watch the mind try to fix things. All right, I always think of the mind as a fixer. It's trying to fix problems all day long. Now, one of my favorite teachers is Michael Singer, who's got the book, The Untethered Soul. If you guys haven't read that, give it a try. And he always says to write this down. He goes, every problem is caused by the mind. And then he tells you to underline every a few times because your mind will trick you that this is an exception. Every problem is caused by the mind. Why does he say that? He says that because there is no problems except the problems that the mind make. The situations that you can act in and you can deal with, you're interacting with life in the moment, but there's no problems. Problems are a mind thing, all right? And if you stop and explore that, every problem you've got is because your mind tells you it's a problem. It tells you it doesn't want it this way. It tells you it doesn't want it that way. And as a result, you end up creating a problem. The mind creates a problem. And then the mind goes, oh, wait a second. I need to fix this. I'll fix this problem. We'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. That will solve the problem. It's the mind creating problems and then trying to fix it. All right. When you watch that process, it's quite hilarious, but also quite scary because your life is run by that process. So again, we've got to get good at observing our thoughts, right? Just watching them. Watch our thoughts. One of the best ways to do this is through meditation. All right. So meditation just quiet inputs. You close your eyes generally. You're going to watch your breath go in through your nose, out through your nose, or you can do your abdomen if you want. And you're just going to be still. And when you do this, it gives you a bit of space to watch a thought come up. All right. You can either try and control your attention by the breath, or you can just be an observer. Oh, thought popped up. Back to my breath. Thought popped up. And it gives you this process of realizing, I'm not my thoughts. I'm separate from them. All right. And then the real game, in my opinion, is to transition that kind of still practice into your everyday life. I want you to be at the poker tables and you go, oh, I've just made a mistake and my mind is judging me for making a mistake. Oh, I'm watching that process. I'm watching my mind judge me, all right? And that process of watching honestly changes everything. Because if you can watch something, you're separate from it and you can choose not to interact with it. I keep doing this with my hand because I'm trying to show you there's a consciousness behind, all right? It's a very deep concept, but we are not our thoughts. We can watch them. If we can watch them, it gives us space. we can disidentify from them, all right? So the process is to let thoughts and feelings come up, to let you have emotional experiences, to not trying to become this numb person who doesn't go through life and becomes really emotionless and void of thought. You want to have them, but you want to be able to observe them calmly observe them. And when you learn to do this, you soon start to see that there isn't any problems. All right, the feelings that you had that you thought you need to fix, often with the mind trying to fix the feelings, which is it can't do, it goes away. If you sit with the feeling, not even for a long time, it goes away. If you observe a thought and don't get sucked into it, it drifts off, another one comes. All right, we end up having this control of our lives where we're just sat in awareness. All right, now I'm realistic and I understand that as a human, we're going to have certain things that trigger us, and feelings are going to come up that override us. Just anger, rage comes up at the poker tables or something else, or your mind's just too active and busy and you fall off. All right, that's just a data point. That means in that area you weren't able to observe your thoughts and feelings. They got too strong and they sucked you in. Awesome. Guess what? You got some training to do. You got some work to do. You got to work on that skill. And over time, you want to spend more and more of your time in awareness, more and more of your time watching your internal state, more and more time separating yourself, disidentifying from your thoughts and feelings and watching. If you can do that, if you can start that process doing that, you will see amazing results in all areas of your life. I can picture myself being in a conversation, someone will say something that would usually have triggered me, all right? And I'm someone who's got quite a fast reply. I used to get in trouble at school for back answering teachers, and if someone says something that triggers me, I used to just impulsively respond to them. Now, the same thing will happen. Someone will say something, it will trigger me. I will get the same feelings in the body. My mind will say, Adam, say that back. But now I watch it. I almost do a half smile and just go, I'm not going to engage with that. I don't engage with it. The process unfolds. Within 3 seconds, it's over. And I said nothing to that response, and it's no longer a thing. The more you can do that, you can do this in every situation. Whether it's make mistakes at the poker tables that triggers a response, watch it. Watch it, watch it. Some people think that you need to go back into your kind of childhood experiences in order to get to the deep root causes of why you have certain tendencies and why you show up in life in a certain way. You can do that. It's a long process, a deep process, or you can go right into the current moment. Every single moment is trying to teach you something. Every single moment is showing you where you are not free, where you have work to be done, where you are identifying with your feelings, and where you're identifying too much with your body. Your goal is to get very still, to watch that process, and to not judge it, and simply watch. All right, simply watch without getting involved in it. The more time you spend in that, the more time you spend in awareness, and the more time you become in control of your life. Now, today's video, you're probably thinking, okay, well, it's all about how to overcome impulsive behaviors. This is how you do it. By becoming still, by becoming aware. And what you'll see is those impulses will still try and drag you, and you won't act on them. All right, you won't fuel them. All right, you also won't resist them. All right, you won't. By that, you won't go. I really want to watch YouTube, but I won't watch it. I won't watch it. You won't use force to resist. All right, you will just watch. You will just be still. You will just be present, and you'll watch the impulse come up, and you'll choose not to act on that. If you can do that, honestly, you can change any behavior. You can overcome any impulse, any behavior that's currently dragging you. All right, so have a think about a target area that you want to watch. All right, and what I would do is get clear. How does it feel in my body? All right, so let's say the impulsion is I stay up too late, binge watching YouTube, and then I eat loads of junk food. All right, what is the feeling I have in my body during that time? Get very in touch with how it feels. All right, might feel agitated, might feel bored. How does it feel in my body? All right, watch it. Watch that process over and over. What thoughts go through my mind? All right, the mind tries to fix the problem, tries to either make you feel more of a good emotion or less of a negative emotion. All right, so it's kind of towards or away mechanism. It's like pleasure pain. All right, so the mind's trying to come up with a solution to make you feel better. But what if there was no problem? What if you just sat with it, you just watched that process? What would happen? What would happen is your problem would dissolve. There would be no problem because there wasn't a problem in the first place, apart from your mind telling you there was one. All right, so went quite deep on this one today. Hopefully you enjoyed this style of video. If you did, make sure you smash the thumbs up button before you go. Drop a comment and let me know which impulsive behaviors you're trying to overcome going into 2022. Now, if you're a poker player who wants to level up in 2022 and you want to be coached through a process to take you from a beginner to an elite level with a lot of skills that correlate with poker performance, then you'll be interested in my Poker Athlete program, which I'm reopening in mid-January. I'm going to be taking 10 poker players through an 8-week program where each week we work on a new skill together. We level that skill from a beginner level all the way to an elite level, and we measure our progress from start to finish. I'm going to be taking on new applicants for this program starting from January, and the program will be starting mid-January. If you're interested in that, click on the link in the description, go through the application process, and I'll be in touch with the next steps. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Smash the like button before you go. There'll be plenty more coming from me very soon.